You're listening to Addressing Gettysburg.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this special episode of Addressing Gettysburg. Normally, today we would have an Ask a Guide put out, but we're giving you a little taste of something different, or a taste of something a little different. Back on the 20th anniversary of September 11th, 2001, Eric and I were invited to participate in something called a Silkies Hike with an organization known as the Irreverent Warriors. They are a suicide prevention group for vets, and one of the many things that they employ to prevent suicide is humor. And I know you probably, as a regular listener of this podcast, know that we like to employ humor as well. And when we heard about what the Irreverent Warriors are and what they do, we decided, well, we absolutely should get involved with them, because it's something that hits a lot of or checks off a lot of boxes, I should say, for things that we care about over here at Addressing Gettysburg. Suicide prevention, pretty good thing to care about, and humor, pretty good tool for a lot of things, learning, mental health, all that stuff. And irreverence. Irreverence is probably the best way, in my mind, to overcome just about everything. Because if you surround yourself with irreverent humor and people who do it and do it well, and you do it, it absolutely humbles you. It shows you that you're nobody special. Shows you that your pain is not unique. Your pain is not special or sacred, and neither is mine. And we learn to laugh at our pain, and it helps. Anyway, what you're going to hear is the audio from our day with the Irreverent Warriors. It took me a while to put this together. I was not sure how I wanted to do it. I wasn't sure if it was going to be a Patreon-only episode or whatnot, but honestly, I decided to put it out on the free feed because I believe what the Irreverent Warriors are doing is a noble thing. It is a good thing. I made some, buddies or acquaintances through this group during this whole hike, and spoke with a lot of genuine people, a lot of good people, but they're people that have pain, and they are trying to work through the pain. They're not succumbing to the pain. And so I think that a lot of the conversations with these men and women may be relatable. And now, I've never been in combat. I've never been in the service. But I can hear what these fellas and gals are saying, and I can relate to the feelings that they're talking about. You don't have to have the same experience to give you those feelings. Feelings of depression and anxiety, they're all whatever. Now, I know a lot of you are listening to this going, I'm going to skip this because, I want to know my history. And you'll get your history. Don't worry about it. We're in the process of lining up, new episodes to record. But this is something that I think that if any of you have a heart out there and appreciate what our veterans have done for us and don't want to see them coming back and killing themselves at a rate of 22 a day, then you might want to give this one a listen and get to know some of these people that I got to know them, and I don't know, I hope maybe you can help the Irreverent Warriors. Go to irreverentwarriors.com to get involved more. You don't need to be a vet to be a volunteer. You do need to be a vet to hike when they do these hikes. And that was a privilege that they extended to me, as I was the only non-vet allowed on the hike itself. And so I really appreciate that. And Taris Gamma was the guy who's in charge of the the whole thing, and he allowed me to come on, and he's become a friend. So I want to thank you for that, Taris. And one final thing before we begin. This is full of colorful language. Normally, if there's cursing above a PG-13 level, I either cut it out or bleep it. But if I were to do that here, there'd be very little understandable audio for you in some cases. So it is uncensored. Not only is the vocabulary sometimes rough for some ears, but also the subject matter is difficult. We're dealing with suicide. We're dealing with war. So if you are faint of heart, I wouldn't listen. If you listen with your children, normally, I would not listen to this one with your children. I didn't cut anything out. I'm going to stress that. I did not cut anything out. I did not cut anything out. There's cursing. There is irreverent humor. Well, plenty of stuff to offend your good taste. So you have been warned. You have been warned. I'm even going to write the warning in the description so that there's no excuse. Well, the only excuse would be is if you skip through this introduction. Anyway, listener discretion is highly advised. Highly advised, ladies and gentlemen. So, without any further ado, here is the Silkies Hike. We are at the parking lot of the Gettysburg Rec Park. And there are soldiers, sailors, Marines, airmen, everybody, all walking around in their silkies for the Silkie Hike with the Irreverent Warriors. Let's see what we can get into today. So now we are walking out of the rec park. They had their morning, registration and orientation type of thing. And now we're walking out. Lots of people. I think it's like a couple of hundred. People carrying flags. People dressed in goofy hats. People wearing kepis. And morning. And it looks like it's going to be a fun day. It seems like a fun group of people. We'll see what comes of the whole thing. Okay, so now we're walking along Long Lane on the sidewalk. Flags a-fluttering. It's a beautiful day, much like September 11th of 2001, almost like it. That day was crystal clear. This day is almost crystal clear. To the east it is. To the west there are some clouds. We should probably get away from people blasting music, because then we'll get copyright dings. Yeah, like it won't matter on Patreon, but well, actually, I'm gonna put this on Patreon, so it doesn't matter. Well, no, but someday I'm gonna put it out for free, and then it'll get dinged. Oh well.
Move up the line.
That's what we're gonna have to do. We're trying to
take the copyright hit.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to. We're trying to move up the line to avoid music, but everybody's got Bluetooth speakers. So every time we think we're in the clear, you hear another song. We'll see.
Cindy's doing great.
That's a good-looking dick.
So.
Isn't that a dressing Gettysburg guy up there?
Oh, what? Me?
Oh, woe is me.
I'm surprised you recognize me. So.
Wait.
Yeah.
We're at the corner of Middle Street and Franklin. Not sure what we're waiting for.
Don got it made. Yeah.
But we're waiting for something. What are we waiting for here?
We have
It's
to.
not gonna
So
cross?
the permits that we have, we're not allowed to stop traffic. So we have to wait for our to cross.
We're going to cross in groups. It's not going to be just...
Once we start,
Yeah.
if everybody keeps going, it ain't my problem.
It's damn right.
Cross and make it a left.
Ask for forgiveness later.
Just going on that sidewalk there, or you're going up through
All the way up.
There you go.
All the way down.
All the way up to Reynolds Avenue.
So we're going to go walk along Middle Street up to Reynolds Avenue on the battlefield.
All right.
All right.
Here we go. No, ma'am. Ask away. I might not have the right answer or an answer, but I will lie and feed you bullshit if I need to. And hey, Rob, this is the time you have to do the slow steps.
If everybody gets across, I just want to make sure we got enough room to get everybody across.
Correct. I'm with you. Being in the front sucks, but being in the rear is worse.
Starting already. Oh, they're blocking traffic.
Gettysburg police
Very
is
good.
actually blocking traffic.
Gettysburg's finest is blocking traffic for them, which is
1,000 times easier for us.
that makes it 1,000 times easier.
If only they could follow us out of town.
Yeah. Yeah, Gettysburg police is blocking the intersection, so we should be as small as possible problem on Slinky effect.
So as these types of hikes go, how's this one going so far? Turnout-wise and all that.
Turnout-wise is amazing. I think we have 260 at this point, with 20 of them being volunteers, which volunteers actually, if you don't have the volunteers or good volunteers, the hike sucks.
Right. Why is that?
Every time you stop, you need the volunteers handing out water, handing out granola bars, because you can't ask, you just got to hand them water. If you hand somebody a bottle of water, they're going to drink it. And when it's 100 degrees outside, luckily we're very fortunate with amazing weather. Rob, you want to stop, wait for a fresh one?
Yeah. You know what? He's probably going to stop us. I mean, he's probably going to stop traffic. No? All right, we'll wait.
That is if everybody got across already.
Do what?
Did they get across?
That's what I'm saying. We don't even know if they're
Yeah,
caught
they're
up.
still crossing up there.
Yeah.
We may need to go on because there may not be enough room on the sidewalk for everybody.
Let this guy go.
Make your buddy smile.
Yeah, once this guy goes, we'll just start crossing. Right. There's nobody else right now. God dang it. Spoke too soon.
Ready? Oh, no.
Spoke too soon.
When we come back, we're going to go up this way.
You want to go?
Do it
Whatever you
now.
want. Let's go.
Let's go.
So how many of these have you done, Edgy?
I've done anywhere from 6 to 10 a year all over the country. West Coast.
For how
North,
many years?
South. 5 or 6 years, somewhere in there. And me and my roommate, Chris Palmerino, ran the Baltimore hike for 4 years.
So what is it that you personally get out of doing this and being a part of the Irreverent Warriors?
Being there for my brothers and sisters. And that's not a bullshit interview answer. That's hanging out with Rob. You know,
Rob. And Rob, you've got a nice bowler hat on.
Dirty Billy's.
Dirty Billy?
Dirty Billy's, absolutely.
So you got your hat from Dirty Billy's, you got yours. That's awesome.
Yeah, we were
So
up
did
there
I.
last Friday. He got his. I wasn't sure I wanted this one, but as soon as I pulled into town, I went over and grabbed it.
I actually went in there yesterday and ordered another cover, the exact same cover I have for Gold Starfather.
I have two of his hats.
shipped.
They're very well done.
Oh yeah, he's a good dude. He came out and bullshitted with us. Like he's a nice guy.
Oh yeah, no, he is. So, and Rob is your name?
Yes.
Rob, and what branch of the service were you in?
Army.
Army. And how many of these have you done?
Actually, this is my second one. First one, I just got to Baltimore, met these guys, and they introduced me to Irreverent Warriors. I'd never heard of them before, and it's just, it's nice to be a part of something bigger than myself again.
Yeah. Is that what you miss after you left the service? Is not being a part of something bigger than yourself?
Yeah, I didn't, and it was decades before I realized that's what the problem was. Took a lot of side roads along the way before I got home.
It's I don't know. It's hard to explain. Like, I don't want to sound all corny and shit, but volunteering and helping people out and being able to do that for your brothers and sisters is definitely.
How y'all doing today?
Gives you a sense of purpose.
Not only that, but it you feel it more in your heart because you're doing it for fellow veterans. It's kind of hard to explain. I don't know.
No, I get it.
I mean, even though it's a pain in the ass and takes up a shitload of your time, it's when you lay your head down, you know you did right.
Do you find that it also helps you in whatever kind of healing that you need to do?
100%.
Yeah.
Keeping in touch with guys I deployed with. I've met guys. One of my good friends, he was shot in medevac 2 days before I got to the base that I was deployed at. So, I mean, you meet people that we literally not only shed blood, tears, and everything else and sweat at the same battlegrounds, but possibly stayed in the same base or possibly the same room that you slept in.
Right.
So it's you meet people from all over. A lot of wild stories that nobody's really documented, or it's just their personal tales, I guess.
That's a good answer. I don't have a follow-up to that one.
I don't know how good that sounded. I was just kind of shooting from the hip on that.
Yeah, that's good. But those are usually the best answers.
Yeah, I mean, I've met guys that legit were on the same base I was.
You can come in front of me. I'm close to the rear car.
I was fortunate enough. Now a very good friend of mine. I was able to help him out in a situation, and he was actually blown up in the same city I was in. But
that black Jeep, can you let him know to get in front of me? Because I'm the rear car.
he was actually
Good copy. Yes, ma'am.
blown up in the same city I was in, but 14 months after I had left. And his story of his deployment is completely opposite of my deployment. We were in vehicles the entire time because Fallujah was kicking off, and it was 2004 to 2005. 14 months later, he never even got in a vehicle. They were in the city doing foot patrols the entire time. Ooh, we might have to move this.
Can't move it out.
I was going to say.
Well, we just have to go around.
There you go.
Yeah. That was easy for the first 3 people to hike. There's 300 people behind us there, Rob.
Yeah. So is this your first, I know you were here a couple of weeks ago, but is this your first time to Gettysburg, or have you been up here before?
I love history, especially military history, and my mother was actually a history teacher. So when Gettysburg came out, my grandfather was in the Army in World War II and was actually an extra in the Blue and the Gray.
No.
I don't know if you remember that one.
Oh, yeah, sure.
So I've always been interested, been up here, but there was probably at least a 10-year gap until terrorists brought up, hey, let's do a hike in Gettysburg on 9/11. So definitely a long gap.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing everybody was asking last night, and I keep telling them, you could spend a week up here and still not see every inch of ground.
Yeah, yeah.
Still not even have the tiniest grasp of history that happened in this town.
I moved here, and I've lived here for a total of 8 years, and I'm still learning about something new.
Yeah,
Whether it's a new
every day.
story or a new piece of ground or a new something in the ground, from, the old Park Service days or something. So yeah, there's you can spend a lifetime studying just this one battle.
It's insane, and people don't realize it. And I think I wouldn't say it's one of the American problems. We don't recognize our history.
Yeah. Well, I guess if you're a nation of innovators, it's hard to look back because you're always looking forward.
Right, but history repeats itself. Not saying you need to. I won't say I necessarily agree with taking down or moving statues and monuments, but it's our history.
Right.
Those were our brothers and sisters. They had a massive, horrible disagreement, but you know what I mean? You can't forget it. That's our past. Embrace it. Move forward.
Well, that's the thing. You should learn from it.
You have every color. There's male and females, every color, race, religion you want to say that's walking with us today. And not one fucking person gives a shit about it. We're all brothers and sisters, and that's the way it should be looked at.
You're all Americans.
All right, here we go.
What's up, dude?
What's up?
Rob, how about you? Is this your first time here?
No, actually, my grandparents brought me and my little sister up here back in the 70s, a couple times. Late 90s, I brought my family up here a few times, but it's been a couple of decades since then. Been up here a few times since we started putting all this together. Actually walked this route twice myself.
Okay.
It's an amazing area. I used to live over in Hagerstown.
Okay.
And
Two ridges over.
yeah, it's just an amazing area. Two of my daughters still live in the Hagerstown area. They bring their kids up here occasionally.
7 or 8. My bad. Well, it sounded like you knew it.
And so, are you a history buff, or do you just like the area?
Well, actually, yeah. History has been a favorite of mine, mostly World War II, but since I've been in this area coming up, it's definitely, what's the word I'm looking for? Rekindled my interest in the Civil War. Sometimes I forget how much tragedy has been fought over on our own soil.
Yeah.
It's been a long time, but you can still look any place, and this
country had a painful birth and an even more painful adolescence.
Absolutely. All right, we're making a right here.
Yes.
And we get up there, we're going to slow down real slow, so everybody can catch up to us.
To stop.
Yes, and well, we're only about a mile or so from the first break.
That's true.
So I just get up here and traffic will be a little bit better. This was the worst, the one I was the most concerned about was this here, this little stretch here.
What do we got going on here? I don't know.
What's your name?
Well, I am the Nathaniel Christopher Gilsaw.
Oh, that's
AKA
interesting.
the Good Sir.
All right, good sir, you said?
The Good Sir.
Well, this is for a podcast called Addressing Gettysburg.
Okay.
And it's mostly about the battle, but we cover pretty much everything that's going on today that we can get our hands on. And this is one thing we were invited to, so we're roaming around talking to you guys.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah. So what branch of service were you in?
I was Army.
Army. How long?
9 years.
9 years. So did you go to combat?
I got time stopped. Afghanistan, 2013, 2014.
All right. And what made you get involved with this organization?
Oh, quite frankly, to be honest, I was eating Chinese noodles in downtown D.C., and a buddy is like, I'm going to New York tonight to go to IW event. I'm like, what is IW? He's like, well, we're going to New York to go do a ruck march. And I'm like, well, I'm out, and I'm pretty fat. I don't think I could do it. He was like, nah, you'll be okay. So I literally finished my noodles and jumped into his Jeep right outside, and we ran to New York. And that was my first hike.
How many have you done since then?
Quite honestly, I've lost count. Quite a few. I've been hooked ever since.
Where do you live?
I'm currently in the DMV area, which is like pretty much the DC, Virginia, Maryland area.
And what is it that attracted you to the Irreverent Warriors and made you want to keep up with it?
In my unit, we probably had, well, personally, I knew three of the different guys that had committed suicide, and then we had an additional 4 others. And it was just kind of figuring out like how to deal with that afterwards, how to more of a kind of a therapy, kind of working with other veterans who've kind of undergone the same circumstances.
Right.
But have also just understand, how to keep on stepping forward, how to put one foot in front of the other and keep going on, even though in the face of extreme tragedy.
In your personal opinion, your gut feeling, what is it that you think most helps prevent suicide?
Quite a different other things. Probably number one, probably interaction with people who understand them.
Yeah.
There's a difference between interaction with friends and people who actually understand you. And like I've had my best friend commit suicide. And I thought I understood him, but apparently I didn't. I would probably say people who, not just friends, but people who fully understand what they're going through, probably would help most with probably prevention of suicide. Other than that, it's basically tackling underlying reasons for individuals, whether it be helping them out with financial circumstances, or not saying giving people money, but tackling the stressors.
Listen, if you're in the point where you're thinking you're going to kill yourself, you're not really at the point where you're making money. Or you can. I mean, you can still have a job and feel that way, but you're not productive.
Top people in civilian society that kill themselves are dentists, air traffic controllers. Granted, financial stressors aren't their main point, but
no.
I also think that there's too many overarching, there's too many, overall approaches for people trying to end all suicide. There's not just one thing that will work.
No.
Multiple people have multiple different areas, multiple different classes, everyone has different stressors.
And there's different reasons for why you're suicidal.
Right, absolutely.
And they're not necessarily external.
No.
So there's all these different reasons, I think, that are internal and external. Well, but I don't think we know.
No, but to quote Professor Ekman, that's bullshit.
You think so?
No, not really. But yes, everyone has stressors. Everyone has. But I think we can. I don't think people are predestined to fucking kill themselves. You have a great deal of environment. You have a great deal of personal responsibility. But I think a lot of people just need support. I think we've gotten too used to in society of just being on our phones, not reaching out to buddies.
Yep.
Like we don't call. Like I'm guilty as hell. I graduated with 53 people in my high school. Went to kindergarten through 12th grade with majority of all of them, and I don't talk to any of them.
Yeah.
Which is. I think I need to, because it's just the people, you grew up, the people that were in the same environment as you that probably needs the most support for someone who understands where you come from. That's why with veterans, we just need to just legitimately every once in a while just call up someone, even if we didn't even like them. Just be like, hey man, hey girl, how you doing? Doing all right? We should have a cigar sometimes, or a beer, or coffee or something. Just especially if they're local, or especially if they're somewhere close to you. Hell yeah. not for any particular reason, just to reach out and make sure that we're all doing okay, because sometimes it's just maybe all we need.
Sometimes, you're absolutely right. A call out of the blue from someone you haven't heard from is enough to make you go, oh, maybe I'll stick around another day.
Absolutely, because in my line of work, we deal a lot with different terrorist activities, and a lot of suicide that I've heard from a lot of people, and my own personal experience is kind of like a suicide bomber.
Yeah.
Like, the bomb goes off, the most amount of damage is the people that were around them.
Yep.
Second line of damage is people that, a little bit distance from them, but like, still quite a bit affects them.
Yeah.
And then the third line of tier is people that were quite distant. They still know about it. They still know what happened, and kind of fucks with you.
Yep.
Kind of messes with you for quite a while. And no one's ever happy of the result.
No. No.
That's probably about the best way I can. About the best way I can probably put that.
Hey. The ranger might hear the music and tell you to turn it off because they don't like broadcasting.
Yo, music.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just it's never good.
No, it's not. It's not. Well, listen, give me your name again.
I'm Nate.
Do I have permission to use this
Yes, sir.
on our
Yes, sir.
podcast?
Yes,
Nate,
sir. Yes, sir.
thank you very much. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Likewise.
I wish you all the best.
All right. Now, if you want any funny stories like that.
Oh, give me a funny story. We like funny stories.
All right. So let's see. Probably the best one I can think of was when I was legal in the Army. Probably the most messed up case we had to deal with was we had this officer that had pretty much slept with everybody in the office. However, though, when it came to, and he was married.
Wait, every woman in the office, or
yes,
every man and woman?
every woman in the office.
Okay.
Every woman.
All right.
And he did not discriminate. However, though, two of the women were pregnant. So when his chain of command decided to prosecute him for adultery, we're literally spun up an entire, pretty much judicial. Oh, our left. We pretty much spun up an entire. I'm not going to say court, but court martial. Pretty much to get this guy out of the military or out of the army. And as the defense attorney is basically saying their main defense was that he never slept with a single one of the women. And our equivalent of the prosecutor was like, then how they get pregnant?
How y'all doing today?
This dude legitimately pulls out of his briefcase a plastic bag with a goddamn turkey dripper and claims he artificially inseminated them. with shit inside of the turkey baster that pretty much looks like what you think it is.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
And we had to drop the case because we couldn't prove he didn't.
But did you check the stuff for his DNA?
We don't have that money.
Oh. That's funny.
Unless you gotta go pee. That's where I'm going.
All right, so that's the pee pace.
But
you can find millions of places now. But the bathroom is also on the other side of these trees.
The good old turkey baster defense.
The old turkey baster defense.
Well, if you ever have to do alimony, depends on what circuit you're in. I'm sure certain different types of judges would probably allow that defense. Yeah. Especially for the wives.
Well, the Ninth Circuit for sure. They would use it.
California is a different wild animal, man.
That's fucking La La Land out there.
Oh.
God, it's a gorgeous day.
All right. How long have you been doing this? So this is a podcast for the Gettysburg type stuff?
This is our, let's see. The first episode came out in June of 2019. But I started trying to build a following on social media in March of 2018.
Okay.
And which paid off because I got a lot of downloads that first episode.
Vehicle from the front!
is this outfit?
Yeah, we are protesting the French genocide of penguins. No, this is Irreverent Warriors. We are anti-veteran suicide.
Hi, Eric.
What's up, boo-boo?
How are you doing?
Oh, you know.
That's great. That's great.
How you doing? Oh, I absolutely love all these hikes I've been on. A lot of random people will stop and ask us questions, and
Yeah.
of course we eventually tell them what we do. But
Right. It's fun to fuck with people.
I absolutely love just telling them the most random, random bits of information. Why are you protesting? I love you, Ben. A hug a day keeps a gun away. Good to see you. Good, sir. Well, as you can see, it's a pretty good turnout for our first hike here at Gettysburg.
This is great.
I think you can talk to anybody here, and they would absolutely definitely tell you that suicide, not a single veteran here doesn't know anyone that hasn't committed suicide.
Right.
So everyone here is definitely. Good job, Wade.
Good luck.
Has definitely have felt the impacts of suicide, and that sucks. And I think anyone here could definitely tell you that there could be anything that they could have done to prevent anything. Absolutely, any of us would. It just sucks.
Well, I know a lot of our listeners are former service members, and I did an episode about depression and anxiety, which is my bag. And I heard a lot from a lot of people who were in the service, and they said that, I never thought I would start listening to a history podcast and find out that, I'm not the only one who's had this problem. And, the fact that I host the show and I'm very outgoing and all that stuff threw them all for a loop, because they figured a guy like this, he doesn't have any problems like that. But no, this is my therapy. Like, that's not the case at all.
Right.
And so I learned from that something I already knew, but it just reaffirmed for me that you gotta strengthen numbers,
Yeah.
and you have to remember that you're never alone. There's nothing unique about you. Every emotion you feel has been felt trillions of times in the history of the world.
Yeah, absolutely. And I imagine what we're going through right now, a lot of the same feelings, a lot of our probably comrades during Gettysburg, post-battle, post-war. Like, I know back then it was just called shell shock, or...
They had I can't remember the name for the Civil War, but there's a good book called The Pathway to Hell. It follows this one veteran, Angelo Crapsey, I think was his name, but it traces his mental decline through his letters from before the war, but he eventually killed himself. And so at that point, when he comes home and he's in his decline, we just have accounts from family members and friends about what he was like, and then the end. But it's very moving, and it's very sad to see a person's mental decline through letters,
Yeah.
But it's just the way it goes. And they didn't have, this is why this is such a good thing of the Irreverent Warriors. They didn't have that back then. You didn't talk about your what was going on inside. You drank it away.
Yeah.
Or you beat your wife it away.
You found the bar with all the other veterans, and that's where you all drank together. If the ones that went out did that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it was, we all have a different release outlet, and so some people, go straight to the booze. Some people go straight to violence. Some people don't know exactly how to handle their emotions, and like, do I get that?
So we're at the West End Guide Station now, taking a little bit of a water and bathroom break. And I have to tell you, there's something special about walking the battlefield at Gettysburg on September 11th especially the 20th anniversary of September 11th. There's a lot of thoughts that go through my head that I can't quite put into words. But there is something magical, or not magical, but there's something moving about walking with veterans, many of them combat veterans, on this battlefield, and talking to them about their experiences, and especially with this group, because they're about suicide prevention. And their name is Irreverent Warriors, and that's in line with my sense of humor, is irreverence, and so that attracts me as well. But yeah, it is something, and if you folks out there listening can support them in any way, they're all over the country. It's a good cause for sure, and there are things that civilians can do to volunteer and help, and I recommend it. Gorgeous day for a walk. Gorgeous day for a walk on the battlefield. I thought that I would stop by the time I got here to the West End Guide Station and go about my day, but it's still pretty early, so I'm going to walk a little further with them and then come back to my car in a little bit. So let's see what else we can get from them. Hey, Taris.
Matt, how you doing?
Good. So how's the walk going, in your opinion?
So far, so good. I have a few hiccups here and there, but yeah.
Any big hiccups or just hiccups?
Nah, small stuff.
Small stuff.
Crystal lost her keys, so we had to,
of course,
switch supplies in different trucks. Hey, turn down the radio a bit.
Good turnout.
Yeah. I don't know what the final numbers are.
I mean, you got to have more than 200-something people. This looks like a lot of people.
Well, we had like 270 signed up, so.
I think you got more than that. I don't know.
Find out later.
Like more, yeah. Well, this is really a cool event. Hop over to the right.
Come over to the right more. I'm gonna lose my voice after all this. Ain't used to this, all this yelling. Getting a lot of good interviews.
I've got a couple, yeah. I just wait for people to come to me. I don't want to go sticking microphones in people's faces.
I gave him a warning already.
I know, but
Eric seems to be holding up pretty good with his knees.
Yeah. We were gonna, because I left my car here. We were gonna get to this point, but it's earlier than I thought it would be. So I go, I got more time, and I'm enjoying myself. So
well, if you guys need a ride back here, just let me know. I'll get one of the volunteer vehicles, give you guys a ride back.
No. All right, I'll let you know. Might be fine just walking back. I need the goddamn exercise anyway.
I agree with that one.
What are you saying? I'm fat?
Hey, look at here.
Oh, you. Oh, okay. Could you be right if you were saying I was fat? No, this is pretty good. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, like I said, they do it in a lot of major cities and stuff like that. And one day I was up here.
There's something cool about up here. There's something cool about doing it on Gettysburg's battlefield on 9/11.
Yeah,
the 20th anniversary.
And that's the thing with Irreverent Warriors. They never do hikes on 9/11. Just because it's a day of solace, stuff like that. But they said, hey, we're doing Gettysburg. Let's have it on 9/11. The only hike that's happening. Like next weekend, I think there's like 4 hikes going around the country.
Right.
Next year's in Normandy.
Ooh, that's cool. It's pretty cool too that the Park Service permitted this, because they, as far as I know, they're not permitting walks or runs or anything anymore.
Oh yeah, I heard that.
So hopefully they'll let you do this every year. They'll make an exception for you guys. Huh? Do I want to run it? No, you can keep running it. But I'll promote it.
The other thing is, Matt, though, I mean, none of us live in Gettysburg or the area.
Right.
Like an hour and a half out.
But still, well, I mean, I could help you. I could be your boots on the ground here, but like, and help you with that, whatever you need that needs to be done while you're not here. But
I appreciate it.
No, you still got to run the damn thing. I got too much on my plate.
Well, it's like I said in the beginning, I reached out to Eric, email. I said, well, let me reach out to these guys, see how they can help me out here, Hey, turn down that music a little bit.
No, it doesn't look that fancy. But it is a similar flipping cross.
Give your name, please.
My name's Tim. You can call me Timmy.
All right, Timmy. Not only are you here on the Irreverent Warriors Silkies Hike, but you are also a patron, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yes, I am. And I expect to get my money's worth, Matt. I pay a good $5 a month. Or wait, is it $1?
No, I think you pay more than that.
No, $50 a year, and that's $1.
Oh, that's $1.
And I expect to get my money's worth. Okay.
No, wait, $50 a year would be you're the $5.
Yeah, the $5 one. Yeah. Well, it's a lot, man.
Right?
It's a big sacrifices I make for
Whatever
you,
it is, you're able to comment on episodes.
That's what it's
Right.
about.
And you tend to rant.
You got to complain. You got to keep Matt going. I mean,
I'll tell you, I look forward to your complaints because they're about 45 pages long. And you make some good points when I can understand what the hell you're saying.
Yeah, I like to go all over the place. I'm not really a fan of the traditional writing styles, Society is kind of de-evolving, so
yeah.
So
what the hell?
Yeah, I don't remember the way they format like stuff that people write, but we don't do that anymore.
It's not your formatting. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I'm eating peach. It's not your formatting. It's your train of thought.
Yeah, I probably have ADHD, but who cares?
Could be. All right, what do you think of the Silkies walk?
It's pretty cool. It's a lot of people. It's more than I thought.
And how is this your first one?
Yeah, it's my first one.
You were a vet?
Yep, I was in the Army.
Army? Did you see combat?
No, not really. I was in Iraq, but I was a firefighter radar operator, so
They're like, we don't want this guy. We don't want this guy on the front lines.
Yeah, well, we kind of tracked a lot of stuff going through the air. I mean, like rockets and mortars. That's what we did. But backtracked it to its origin. Sent it to brigade headquarters, and they probably did nothing with it.
But at least you did your job.
Yeah.
These peaches are delicious. Did you get a peach?
I did. Yeah, they're all right. I have not had a peach in a while.
They're juicy. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, they got to listen to me eating. But they're juicy and delicious. What do you think about how delicious they are?
I think they could be more delicious, but I think they are pretty good. Pretty good. I mean, they were free.
Well, I was going to say they're free, so maybe just take the peach and shut up and eat it.
Well, yeah, but, I mean, I think it's important people get feedback, and I think, maybe I'll let them know their peaches
I'm going to grab another one. You want me to grab you one?
No, I'm all right.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm going to grab another goddamn peach. This is pretty good. I'll be right back.
I saw someone who was wearing this.
I have no clue who has
Where'd you get these? They're so sweet and delicious and juicy. Have you had one?
No.
You got them at the store?
I didn't get them.
It's amazing.
Someone got them at
Oh,
some
okay.
store.
So you don't know.
No. At some point.
Well, they're good.
We know where we got this fruit. He wants
Yes,
to know.
Costco.
Costco.
Yep.
They're delicious.
Costco. In,
Nice and sweet.
Maryland.
Up here with Crystal, the cherry red-haired. She says it's magenta, but that's cherry red.
It's magenta. I dye it myself, so I would know.
Magenta's closer to pink.
It is, but it's a shade of red.
Oh, wait, hang on. Everybody's leaving.
Yeah, they're leaving
Oh, I'm
you.
sorry.
You,
Well, I'll talk to you
better
later.
get stepping.
All right, I'll see you later. The group is on the bank of Oak Ridge, right below the Oak Ridge Tower. They're getting into formation of some sort to take a picture from on high.
We're just gonna set you down and let you go, all right?
Our very own beloved Eric Money is with the group. Go ahead, you're okay. Our beloved Eric Money is with the group. Going to be in the photograph, immortalized forever as the producer of Addressing Gettysburg.
Because they're not really. I mean, if we're being real.
If we're being honest with ourselves, yeah, probably. My pride won't let me say anything but the Marine Corps.
Or the fucking Air Force, because all those dickheads always look happy.
Well, right now it's the Space Force. A lot of the guys that are transitioning from Air Force to Space Force are loving their lives.
Oh, I'm sure they are. Because what the fuck do you even have to do?
Stand up units and sit around.
There you go.
There's like 2 units that have a mission. They're like within agencies and stuff, but they were Air Force doing the same shit. Nothing changed but their branch.
I'll give it
The one flat part of Pennsylvania. This is it right
here. So how are we doing, Edgy? How's it going?
I think pretty good.
Yeah,
How's
it seems
your
like
perspective of this whole thing?
I love this. I really do, and I feel I'm very feel very lucky to be allowed to do this with you guys. It's to do it with actual veterans on 9/11 on the Gettysburg battlefield. For me, is special. I don't know the word, but
Yeah.
it's a special thing.
You can feel that hair on the neck stand.
Yeah.
I
And you
felt
guys
that
are
since 6 o'clock this morning, bro.
Yeah, no, I know. I mean, that's why I had to move here. Like
Hey, Rob, half step. Yeah. It's a pain in the ass coordinating because you're working the entire time. Like by the end of this, I won't even be able to talk.
Yeah.
And
It's
but
exhausting.
it's also, if you don't do it, who else is going to do it? Type of situation. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. It needs to be done.
And I know every over 200 veterans here today are going to have a kick-ass fucking day. I think Crystal lost. Somebody said she lost her car keys.
She did?
That's going to suck.
Oh, God.
This is Matt. He runs a podcast called
Nice to meet
Addressing
you.
Gettysburg.
Yeah, he's got a
gonna
podcast.
ask you how big your pecker is and everything.
Yeah. We could all see how big your muscles are, but how big is your penis?
I gotta compensate. I'm Asian, man.
All right. So you were a tanker?
Yes.
So tell me about that. Where were you?
I was in Camp Lejeune from 2010 to 2015. I did one deployment in Afghanistan in 2012. I got injured, got blown up a couple of times, and then I got medically retired shortly after.
You got blown up a couple times. Mm-hmm. Tell me about that.
Well, the first time, basically we came back from a mission, and on our way back, basically the Taliban was able to put a 200-pound IED where our tank was, and it just blew us up. The first time, luckily we were all okay. The second time, though, I'm not going to get too much into it, but the second time we got blown up, I blamed my lieutenant for it. I was knocked out, and I was medevac to Camp Bastion. I had to get back surgery done, and when I was trying to get after my back surgery, that's when I got medically retired.
And you're still able to stay in shape, though, so does that help with the injuries?
Yes, because I've always been really big into fitness. It's always been kind of more of more mental health than physical work.
Yep.
I think I just have good genetics.
That helps too. I wouldn't know about that. So how did you get involved with the Irreverent Warriors?
So my buddy Edgy and Chris, we actually met at a different hike before Irreverent Warriors was a thing. And we were doing a different hike, and he told me that there was this group, Irreverent Warriors, that they're starting up. He's like, come do a hike with us in Philly. I did the hike in Philly, and ever since then, I've been coming to as many hikes as I could.
Were you attracted to the group and its mission because you had issues yourself, or you knew someone, or just because you what?
I stayed with this group because shortly after I got out, I almost became one of the 22. And it was just basically
when you say that, for the people that aren't aware of this, what do you mean when you say the one of the 22?
I tried to kill myself. I took as many pills as I could, and I was lucky to survive it. It was kind of like a wake-up call. I had a whole bunch of veterans reach out to me. They're like, this isn't the route to go. Just hang out with us. And I basically come to these things for the camaraderie.
And you find that helps you from getting back into those thoughts?
Absolutely, because anytime I have like a bad thought or I have like a triggering moment, I can reach out to anyone here, and they all understand me, or they take the time to be like, all right, I'll listen to you right away. Like, it's not a lot of the civilians, they just don't unfortunately understand. They just don't understand what we went through, and it's not their fault. I don't blame them, but
I do.
We just have to. I think veterans and military in general need to stick together better.
Well, I'll tell you this: having been through the thing myself, but having not been in combat, but having had that moment, I can tell you that civilians, they don't get it at all. It's not the experience that you had that maybe led you there, but they don't get that mindset unless they've been there. Because people don't get that,
Right.
So it's very hard and frustrating when people can see there's something wrong with you, and they go, "What's wrong?" And, they go, "Well,
Right,
you
like
need,
when
you
I
need
tell,
to get a job, or you need to just snap out of it.
Right.
Go for a walk."
Yeah, like when
And
I tell
it's
them, like, oh, I got blown up, and they're like, "You got blown up?" They're like, "Oh, describe everything. Tell me, how was it?"
Yeah.
Like, how was it?
How was it?
Let me tell you, it was great. I was like, I can't wait to get blown up a second time.
It's like, it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I get you. So it is frustrating when people don't understand what you're going through. So it's great to have something like this. Where are you from?
Originally, I'm from Upper Darby, Pennsylvania. It's right outside of West Philadelphia. But I just tell people I'm from Philly because no one really knows where Delco is.
Yeah. And where do you live now?
I live in Collingswood, New Jersey.
Jersey. That's where I'm from.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Through a Military Warriors Foundation, they're called. They gave me a mortgage-free home.
Very nice.
Yep. So we've been...
Damn, I knew I should have joined the fucking military. Damn it.
So yeah, I've been living in Collingswood since then.
Collingswood, how do you like it there?
It's different. Different from where I grew up, but
yeah,
it's a very nice neighborhood.
Yeah,
so I will say that.
Good.
So my kids are set up for success.
Very good. And what do you do?
I'm medically retired, so I'm a stay-at-home dad.
Awesome. So your wife works?
Mm-hmm.
It's about time. It's about time.
Yeah, right. Yeah, she works full time. I just take in all the benefits.
That's right.
The roles have been reversed.
Turn those tables.
That's right.
Yes.
I have no problem saying, "Yep, my wife's the bread maker." I don't give a fuck.
That's great. Well, Joe, right?
Yep.
Great talking to you.
Nice meeting you, man. What's your name again?
Matt.
Nice to meet you, brother.
You mind talking to me?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, I'm here with Ryan. Ryan, what branch were you in?
United States Marine Corps.
Marine Corps. A Marine. And so what got you involved with the Irreverent Warriors?
Sadly, it was 22 Veterans a Day. I actually had a couple of friends sadly join that club. And I wanted to do something, and I heard about these hikes. Sadly, when I was out of town, I was like, damn, I missed the Philly hike. So it was September of 2017. I actually started the hikes in D.C., and from there, I just loved it. I love the organization. I love the mission.
And how many did you say you've done of these?
I would say this is probably my 30th one.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. This is my 30th
All right.
hike.
And then is this your first time to Gettysburg?
This is our first hike in Gettysburg. So, yeah, it's our first hike.
But personally, your first time here?
I'm from Pennsylvania, so
right.
I've been to Gettysburg a couple of times, but this is my first time in this capacity.
Right. Are you a history buff, or?
I love history. I love Gettysburg. I love war stuff and political stuff, and this is right up my alley. So kind of enjoying
this place is great. What does it feel like if you've had this thought cross your mind? What does it feel like to walk these grounds with all these people on the 20th anniversary of September 11th?
I would say it's humbling.
Yeah, that's a good word.
it's just walking in Gettysburg, just knowing that there were thousands and thousands of people like us, marching for a cause, or what they believed in at the time.
Yeah.
And they died for it. We here, fast forward to 2021, we're 20 years removed from 9/11, and we understand what those guys did in 1863.
And the thought occurred to me as we were walking around is that because of 9/11, you guys had the experiences that you had. I mean, that may not have been your reason for joining,
right?
But where they sent you and what you did was all spawned from 9/11.
Yes. I think especially today, a lot of our Afghanistan veterans, this is the first 9/11 where we're not in Afghanistan. That war is ended. And even though we're not a fan of how it ended, it is over.
Are you an Afghanistan vet?
I'm not. I actually served in Iraq twice, in 2006 and 2007. So, and I was in when they were, the first surge of troops into Iraq.
Where were you raised?
I was raised in Pottstown, Pennsylvania.
Pottstown, okay.
Yeah.
That's not far. Where do you live now?
Now I live in Hillsborough, New Jersey.
Another Jersey boy.
Yeah. Joe and I actually work out together, and that's how our friendship really took off, because we met through IW, and then we've had some shared life experiences, and from there we're each other's back, if he's having a bad day, I know, and I try to talk him off, the ledge if he feels he can't talk to anyone else, and the same thing with me.
Good.
So I'm very thankful for IW for that.
Right. So if it wasn't for IW, you probably wouldn't have met him, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah. And so you both get each other. You have common shared experiences, not necessarily in the same place, but a similar background of things that you've gone through, and it's easier to relate, right?
Yes, definitely. I couldn't put it anywhere better.
Better than having a psychiatrist.
Definitely. I always tell people this is a cheaper form of therapy for me.
Yes.
I know it's been said many times before. It's nice to just kind of be around people that get it, and you don't have to give them the backstory.
Right.
And I feel like that's what makes a lot of veterans frustrated, because they have to explain the backstory to get why they feel the way they're feeling that day. And with IW, I can just be like, yo, I'm having a bad fucking day.
Right.
And they get it. They're like, all right, let's start from the beginning. And you can start from the beginning, or you can start from where the bad day went, and from there it's therapeutic. It is therapeutic.
I would imagine it is. Overall, how do you look back on your experience in Iraq?
I look back at it now. It feels like a dream.
Yeah.
It feels like a 4-year dream. It doesn't seem I ever went and deployed, but I look back at it with pride. I always tell people it's the best decision I ever made is joining the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
I think it's a great, I guess you can look at it as an investment or time, because I made that choice, and I'm reaping the benefits today. I got many friends. I have family. I come from a line of military family, but the first Marine though, so it's just kind of nice to kind of continue that tradition as well. But I would say it's like a dreamlike sequence that I wish I can get back to.
Why is that? Is because everything is structured for you, and you don't need to worry about anything but just doing your job, or what is it that you want to get back to?
I would say that I've always been a structured kind of person. I always like things in a certain way, and I think that's why I've always clicked with the Marine Corps. It's just, everything has a time and place for it. And I think that's probably what I miss the most. I mean, I try to have that most of my life. People know me. I'm a very organized person, very detail-oriented in certain areas of life, and I know that got a magnifying glass got put on that when I was in the Marine Corps.
Sure.
That trait, but all in all, I mean, I think it's just at the time where you're young and it's like an innocence. I mean, granted, it was right after 9/11 that I went in, but compared to today, it was kind of an innocent part of America. A couple years after 9/11, we were still fighting for a cause and all this good stuff, and it just feels right.
Well, and also at that age, you are, like, mentally we're different at 20 years old or 19 years old or whatever, And so everything's still an adventure. Everything is still new.
Right.
And it's only when you get older and you realize just how mortal you are.
Exactly.
That you look at those things and go, Jesus Christ, like, how can anybody do that? That's, I mean, that's at least the way I was. Like, when I was younger, I fell for all the war movies and gung-ho bullshit and all that. And, but then as I got older and I was never in combat, I was never in the service, but I've always been fascinated by it. And I try to read as many first-hand accounts of what it's like.
Right.
And imagine, because that's the best I can do. And it terrifies me. Like, I may have a good imagination.
Oh,
but it terrifies me. And
it does.
That someone can go into a battle for the first time, I understand. But it's the second time that blows my mind.
Yeah, I would say the first time I was very at peace if something happened to me. My family, on the other hand, was not at that level that I was at. Obviously, I came back and went back, the second time. The second time, it was a little more of, I felt like that you cheated death twice. And hence why, I kind of did, I slowly realized that maybe I should, get out of the Marine Corps. The adventure is fun, but, I've been over here twice.
So what am I doing?
But yeah, like I said, or like you said earlier, yeah, it does take a lot to be young and come to grips very early on about your mortality.
Right.
And I think this generation of veterans had to learn that very quickly, and I think they used it as motivation in their lives to just take every day as a gift and just live every day.
Did you find it hard to reacclimate back into civilian society when you came back?
It took me a while to get back in of things, from driving in the middle of the street to driving on the right side again. Asking for help was another big thing. I went through a couple of personal setbacks, and I wish that IW was around then, and I wish I had be a little bit more open for someone helping me.
Right.
I wouldn't have gone set through those setbacks.
Right.
But other than all, I would say re-entering the atmosphere of the civilian world wasn't as bad as I've heard other stories. I just wish mine wasn't as bad, but it wasn't as bad as other people.
No, I got some. Thanks.
Thanks, man.
Well, I appreciate you talking to me.
Well,
it's really nice to talk to you.
Thank you so much.
Take care of yourself.
You too, man.
Water, get some shade.
What's that?
How are you doing?
Right now on Barlow's Knoll, they're taking a picture in front of the flagpole. All right, we're going. All right, please tell me your name.
Sarah Sahudsky.
Spell that.
Sure, it's Sarah with an H.
Yeah.
So Sarah, S-A-R-A-H.
The right way.
Yeah, the correct way. Yeah, and then Sahudsky, S-A-H-U-T-S-K-E.
See, I never would have gotten the E at the end. I would have picked Y or I. I've never seen ski with E.
Yeah. I mean,
I would have just pronounced that sk.
My ancestors changed it, like coming over.
What is that, Polish?
It is. It's Polish. Yeah.
Okay, very good. All right, so you're from Vet TV.
I am. Yeah.
Out here from LA.
Yeah. San Diego, but
San Diego,
but California, which is all the same. So
yes.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about Vet TV. What do you guys do?
Yeah. So I am the community marketing manager, which is one of the reasons why I'm here, to be here in support of the hike and represent Vet TV. But Vet TV is basically like Netflix for veterans. We are veteran owned and ran, and most of our writers are veterans, most of our actors are veterans, and we come up with shows, skits and stuff that parody the military experience in a really dark, irreverent way. And it's all comedy. The party started here. But we parody the military experience, and it's awesome stuff because it's all like veteran-related humor and comedy that I think we can all relate to.
Yeah, I love this idea because, first of all, I find the veteran, really servicemen and women in general, cops, firemen, EMTs, military, the sense of humor is so fucked up.
Oh yeah.
Which I love. I've never been in service, but I love that style of humor. Whatever shocks my grandmother is what I want to listen to and laugh at. And so I love the idea of this, but I love the idea that it's, for veterans and by veterans, because they're in a different mindset. They're in a different world than everybody else.
Yeah.
And so I think it's a good thing. Let me ask you this: does Vet TV ever hire actors or whatever who are not veterans?
Yeah. One of our recent shows, Recruiters Mission First, some of the people that are playing recruiters are actually some of our civilian actors that have been on our other shows, and they just kind of study up, about the recruiting experience and the military experience in general, and they kill it. They're awesome. Yeah.
Well, I think that's great. And so what is the purpose of coming out here to the Irreverent Warriors Silkies Hike?
So Vet TV is actually the national presenting sponsor for Irreverent Warriors. It's our sister nonprofit. We've given $25,000 to Irreverent Warriors this year to help with the mission of preventing veteran suicide.
Right.
Preventing, going, the dark side of, we say laugh, instead of die, basically.
Yeah,
so you don't want to kill yourself. We want to promote people to come out and have a good time and be with their community and other veterans and get out and just laugh about some of the hard shit that we've gone through. So laugh now, die later.
It is a good way to get over pain.
It is, yeah.
Laugh at your pain. You mock your pain. And it's good. It helps. You're a veteran?
I am, yeah.
What were you in?
I was a Marine Corps veteran.
Marine Corps? You can kick my ass.
I don't know about that.
I bet you could.
I feel like I'm old now, but...
How old are you, if I may ask?
Yeah, I'm 36. So I was in from 03 to 2012.
I'm 43. There's no way in hell. I'm 43 and I've never been in any kind of martial arts training whatsoever. I think I've seen one Bruce Lee movie and that's about it. So you could definitely kick my ass. All right, so Vet TV, how do people, obviously it's at vettv.com? Is that where people go?
Veterantv.com. Yeah, www.veterantv.com. We have an app on Apple, Roku, Google Play, Samsung, if you have like a Samsung TV. We have an app pretty much on almost on every available thing to stream. So you can find us anywhere and take us with you.
I'm gonna subscribe.
You should, please.
I'm going to. Yeah, no,
Please.
I'm going to.
It's $5 a month. We put out new episodes every single Wednesday. We have new shows constantly coming out, and you're really supporting veterans like myself because we are our own target demographic.
Right.
So.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
It was nice talking to you. Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure being here today.
Isn't it a great place?
Yeah. This hike 9/11, like for me and so many others here, our post 9/11 is the reason why we joined. So.
Okay, I'm glad you said that. I'm not done with the interview now. Because I
kickstarted it again.
Yes. I forgot I asked this question before, and I wanted to ask it of everybody. So for me, as a civilian, to be able to walk with all of you guys. As far as I know, I'm the only civilian hiking. That's what I was told, at least.
Yeah, very coveted.
Very special person, yes.
Yeah.
And so to be able to hike with you guys on September 11th, on this ground, for me, is pretty humbling and special is the word I keep using because I can't think of the proper word for it, but it's a word that I'm not familiar with. How is it for you as a veteran?
I think it's really remarkable. I think you can't really, nobody can see the scenery right now, but to see these rolling hills and know that people who stood for, I think, a lot of the same beliefs that we have today, and just patriotism in general. It's crazy to think that the people that stood here and died here are the same reasons why some of us left for Iraq and Afghanistan after September 11th, so we could, I think, support our country and be there for our families in a different way, by serving our country.
Sure.
So it's pretty interesting.
If we were Union troops right now, we would be retreating in this direction, and behind us would be those screaming crazy Rebs folding in our flanks right now. This is the right flank of the Union line on the first day, and this is where it was falling back to. So even though it's a nice paved sidewalk and there's a paved road right next to us, the road was here, the supermarket wasn't, the bank wasn't, but all of this was here. This is the ground, this is the topography that all happened on.
These
and it would have been out in these fields
and the tree
here.
line,
Yes.
and yeah.
So it's tough because we look at it now and it's a beautiful park, but it was farmland, it was people's homes. It's just a regular old place like anywhere else.
Right.
And it became a battlefield, and I don't need to tell a veteran that the battlefield is a place of hell. and this was one of the worst places. So it is a powerful piece of ground to walk on. And you're right, like 9/11, like you guys, a lot of you might not have ever joined the service had it not been for 9/11.
Right.
And so
it inspired a lot of people who were feeling I think that patriotic spirit to go and do something a little bigger than themselves.
Right. And so one of the thoughts I had was, like you guys might have had a completely different life, and I'm not saying your experience was bad per se, but it might have been different if you hadn't felt that pull to go after 9/11.
Right.
And then on the other hand, like I feel like such a piece of shit because I didn't.
No.
Well, I know people say that,
No.
but you still do, right? Especially when you're around everybody. And you see what the camaraderie and stuff like this doesn't exist in the civilian world.
Right.
You know that.
Yeah.
People don't.
The camaraderie here today is unbelievable.
Yes.
Since the beginning of the year, some of the hikes that I've gone on, I've been fortunate enough to go to. I met one guy even earlier who was at the Jack's Beach hike in Florida at the beginning of the year, and that was his first hike. And I said, "You're gonna get addicted. Like you're gonna meet people here. You came by yourself, but you're gonna meet people here, and people are gonna want you to go to the hikes like later on down the line." I saw him here today. He's been to 7 hikes.
There you go.
Since.
Watch out.
So it's pretty remarkable. Like these are the things that we look forward to now. Is like, hey, are you going to the next hike? I'll see you there.
Yeah.
And people from all over the nation have come to this hike. Several hundred of us.
Do people end up like getting married and stuff?
Actually, our last hike, we did have a couple that did get married, and their after
like
party.
on the hike?
They didn't get married on the hike, but there was one, I think, last year, Las Vegas. Somebody got married actually on the hike in Vegas.
Wow.
On the strip, yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
3 miles, right? Who's got a Fitbit on their wrist?
To meet people here, like I have my boyfriend here. I mean, people have brought their families or met up with
what did you say?
I was just gonna say. I mean, people.
No, who's here?
Oh, my boyfriend's
Well,
here.
then this interview's over.
People
I already
bring their
knew he was here because we
families.
talked last night.
Some of, I mean, it's intergenerational too. People are meeting up with like their mom or their like older sister or brother. Their fathers, my dad was at one of the hikes with me in Palm Springs, and that was awesome to be hiking with my dad, who's an Army veteran himself.
Okay.
All right.
Well, it's definitely an awesome organization, and it really is a nice group of people. Like a lot of fun. Everybody seems pretty cool.
Yeah.
Except for that incident last night. But otherwise, everybody's pretty cool, and it seems like a good thing to do. Thank you for talking to me, Sarah.
Yeah, such a pleasure. Likewise.
Yeah. Enjoy the rest of the walk.
Thank you. Thank you.
They're very simple questions.
Okay.
What's your name?
I'm April,
And what branch did you serve in?
United States Marine Corps, URA. I did not deploy.
Okay.
I was stateside. Yeah.
So what got you involved with IW?
Back in 2018, I was a part of Marines of New York, and some of my Marine Corps friends were like, "Hey, you want to go to this bar crawl? Like it's coming up. It's gonna be pretty cool." I'm like, nah, no. And then they finally convinced me, and a couple of my girlfriends I went to boot camp with live up in New York, so we all decided to go together, and it was fun. And I started looking around and seeing what everything had to offer. I didn't know what IW meant. I didn't know what it was. I just thought it was a bar crawl, whatever. So then I was interested, and then the next week or a couple weeks after that was a Philly hike, and I'm from Pennsylvania, so I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna go. And I went, didn't know anybody there, went all by myself. Like I said, I didn't know anybody, didn't really have the money for a hotel, so I had a minivan, and I put all my seats down and put a mattress back there, stayed in the parking garage, and pretty much found out what IW was about, its purpose, and it's been a life changer ever since.
Do you? I mean, I'm going to say that I guess you obviously find that it is something helpful for people who are struggling with maybe suicidal thoughts or having attempted it or something like that. Correct?
Oh, absolutely. With all the veteran organizations that you hear of, this is by far, I will preach this until the end of my time, that this is the best organization for getting veterans together, for bringing every branch, doesn't matter who you are, even Space Force, I mean, everybody together, all branches, like you come together, doesn't matter if I know you or not, just like you, I can talk to you, you've been in my shoes at some...
Well, I haven't. No, I'm the only one that's allowed to hike that is a civilian.
Okay.
I think it's because I do the podcast and Taris is a fan.
Okay. Well, I mean, so we're like-minded individuals.
Yeah. But I care. I respect what you guys have all done, and that your willingness to do it. And I mean, it's kind of, it's basically, while everybody was off fighting wars, I was living my life. And people my age didn't come back. They came back mangled, or they came back physically okay, but mentally they had some issues. And I feel very guilty, and I feel very bad about that. And so whenever I can do something to just, I don't know, just be around you guys. It's not even like to do anything specifically, because I don't know what you need from me, but
support. I mean, that's all.
That's what it is, I guess, is what I'm trying to do, is to show that, I'm one of the civilians
it
that
made a
get
difference,
even though I've never been there.
Yeah,
I get it. And what I don't get, I respect your having experienced it without my. I don't need to go through something to know that it's hard. I just don't know how hard.
Absolutely.
So yeah, no. So I think this is a great group of people. I don't know if it's just because this region is awesome people.
I've been to hikes like all over, not really the West Coast, but along the East Coast. I've been to Norwich, I've been to Tennessee, I've been down to Florida. I mean, it's anywhere, it's any hike that you go to. You can walk up to the stranger, hey, my name is so-and-so, and they'll be like, hi, I'm so-and-so, or give you a hug, like I'm a hugger. So, I mean, it's just...
It's the military.
It is. It's that bond. It's that camaraderie that you miss so much, that you can't ever get in the civilian world.
Yeah.
When I talk to like legions and VFWs and guys over there.
In case you don't know, this is your last potty break.
Okay.
Don't say
whether you're dancing,
war.
whether you're just sitting here talking to a stranger that you just met, there's been so many individuals that have come up and not known anybody, and through like just talking, like, oh, you were whatever unit, so was I, and there's a connection. There's Facebook, there's Instagram, there's Twitter, there's TikTok. I think now, I mean, there's any which way that you can reach out to somebody. So it doesn't just end at the hikes. There's events. People are like, hey, I'm having a hard time, want to meet up, and let's just say for Philadelphia or Gettysburg, like, hey, anybody in this area, and magically, it's there. Like it doesn't stop at these hikes. It just continues and it goes on and on and on. And it's probably my favorite part about it. It's like if you're down, you've got somebody. Yeah. You've always got somebody. And as long as you're just present and you don't isolate, you'll be good.
Yeah. It's a great organization, and I hope that we get to be more affiliated with you guys in whatever way we can, because it's something. I believe in humor as the great healer, and there's nothing that should be off limits to joke about.
There really isn't.
and people who get offended by a joke, no matter how harsh the joke may be, they're just a bunch of pussies.
Absolutely. Go pound some sand. Just saying, you fucked hard.
Well, thank you for talking to me. I appreciate it.
Yes, it was nice meeting you, man.
Meeting you. After a short break, actually a decent-sized break at Hack and the Weiss Market parking lot for pee-pee and poo-poo and refreshments, we are now moving out. They are forming down in the parking lot below me. I am up on the driveway leading out to the old Harrisburg Road, looking down on everybody in the lot. My legs are in tremendous pain. My feet feel like I've been tap dancing on concrete with no shoes on for 2 days. And yeah, but I got to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, this is an awesome crowd of people. And I really do encourage you to somehow get involved volunteering with the Irreverent Warriors in your area or whatever. These men and women did a lot for us. A lot of them are very humble about it, and they just think, oh, well, that's my choice. It's my life that I did. It's not that, and and they don't act like they demand or deserve the praise, but they certainly do. And those of us who respect them and are grateful to them should do something for them like this. And so, yeah, get involved if you can. It's a great cause, especially this group.